What is up? It is I, Smooth, and this is the top 10 LRs in the game at the moment, in my opinion. Let me just get that straight out the way. In my opinion, without no playing around, I'm going to get straight into it. We will start off with the honorable mentions. Now, all of these characters, I feel like, are definitely necessary. Well, I'll talk about that last one that I put up there real quick, but all of these characters, I do believe, deserve to be talked about. They are all great. Like, they're all good units. They are usable. And now you might be asking, why is LR Broly Chi Lion Lemo there? Because when you run them on Power of Wishes with Bulma, they pretty much almost always get their dodge. Now, they don't sometimes because, yes, you get unlucky, but I'm just throwing them on there as an honorable mention. Again, these are in no particular order. It's, it is how it is. If no, I'll say this: if the fifth year fusions got their dodge just from being in slot 3, not having to attack in slot 3, they would definitely be a lot higher because they would be able to dodge the AoEs. But since they cannot dodge the AoEs until after they attack, which is basically pointless, they have to be the AoE has to be in the third slot, which again, at that point it doesn't matter. The AoE is useless because everybody already attacked. So if they could dodge AoEs before they attack, they would be actually probably on this list. But since they cannot, they are in honorable mentions. They get blown up by Omega and Zamasu. So I'm gonna just get that out the way. Ultimate Gohan, Beast Gohan is still usable to this day. The content is short. I'd say he's not that great on Omega, but since the last phase is int, as long as you get through the STR phase while he still has his guard, he is pretty good. Super Saiyan 4 gets blown up like the first turn. If you can get all your hits in without getting supered in the first turn, you are good. He will be looking great. He's definitely a top 10 unit if that's the case every run, but since it's not, you get supered first turn, you get blown up. It is what it is. Kai Goku, he has guard, he stacks defense, he has a large heal when you're low HP. It's like under 40%, something like that. He's good. He will be good for a while just because he stacks defense. He has guard for 6 turns. He has a guaranteed crit active. He can be pretty good still. He's still pretty usable. And with that, let's get right into the list. Now we're going into the list. At number 10, we got LR Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. The 8th year anniversary, you know, the LR, the head LR. Headliner, Spirit Bomb. Now, why are they at number 10? Ooh, I spoiled number 9. So, oops, whatever. That doesn't matter. Them at 10. Let me just find them. Okay, there they are. So you saw 9. You saw 9. I clicked on it already. We'll just put them up there if I can find them. My brain. There we go. 9. So I will say, before I continue, that the colors indicate that you can swap around, or that I would swap around these positions. Like, I can see arguments for swapping around these positions with the same color. That's why they're colored like that. So you could swap 10 and 9 and I wouldn't be like, what the heck, that's blasphemous. Something like that, you know what I mean? Just so that's the colors. So this unit, again, they stack defense every time. They greatly stack on 18 key. That's huge. You get your 18 key pretty easily. You're running them in slot 2 most of the time. They do a lot of damage. They do get blown up turn 1, but with the fact that they can go into their standby when you're just under 50% HP, just straight up, that's it. Or if it's 4 attacks, their standby is very easy to get into. You can easily get into it on turn 2, or you can even get their condition after attacking in the first turn because they have 3 built-in attacks. So you don't even need to do supers, you just need to attack. 4 attacks, right? You have guaranteed. If you have 24 key, which is easy to get, you do the guaranteed additional super. Then you have the 70% chance, and then most likely you have a good build. You have additional on this unit, so they're gonna do the 4th attack most of the time. The only problem with that, getting that, would be you kill the enemy too fast because the rest of the team and them, they do a lot of damage. So that is why they're there. Of course, once you go into standby, the Vegeta is pretty much untouchable. He will be untouchable for a while. The day that he is no longer untouchable will be the day that this unit falls off, because that's a lot of the value is being able to go into this for 5 turns, orb changing, untouchable, and then you launch a nuke, which does a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage. If you have support, it does even more damage. You get all those key spheres, it does a ton of damage. They're on a lot of good teams. Um, Battle of Fate, Power Wishes, of course, Bond and Parent and Child. These are all teams that will be getting buffs in the future. Power Beyond, Final Trump Card. These are all, again, Pure Saiyans. These are all teams that will be getting buffs in the future. So they will continue to probably be good for a while until they instantly lose you the fight on turn 1 when you can't be in standby. So that is number 10. And then obviously you saw number 9, Fuse Zamasu. He has a good leader skill. I wish he didn't have Fuse Fighters here. I wish it was some other villain team. What other villain team can he have? Okay, maybe I don't wish it was like a villain team. Maybe I wish it was like Battle of Fate or something like that. Battle of Fate, yeah. Battle of Fate, Final Trump Card. I wish that was his last team. If he would have a better team, he would have more units to run on them. He does have the Key 3 150 to all extreme allies, or yeah, all extreme allies, so that is good. That is a great addition to his leader skill. I wish it was 170. Is that too much to ask that it's 170? Like, yeah, I guess it's too much to ask, but that's how that is anyways. Or maybe like you get the additional 30% if you're on if you're extreme but you're on one of these teams. I wish it was like that as well, but it is what it is. Good leader skill. Okay, thanks. Good leader skill. You know, it's Dokkan Fest LR Worldwide. He can't get hurt the first turn no matter what. And then after that, he's most likely going to be slot 2 until you get Infinite Zamasu. Now, back to this guy. He has a 50% chance to crit. He gets hit, he does more damage. You usually can get him fully built up attack-wise after the first turn. Then he can shoot out like a 20, 15, 15 with a 50% chance to crit. That's if you have links and support, of course. And he's looking good offensively for sure. And of course, turn 1, he has the 80% damage reduction. Untouchable turn 1. High defense, at least high enough to be untouchable. Once you lose that damage reduction for the first turn, it goes down to 60. You don't really want to run him in slot 1 because he absolutely can get blown up. But after he supers, he's just completely fine. And then once you get to turn 5, you go into Infinite Zamasu if you're lucky with the condition kind of stinks because it's turn 5 from the start of turn instead of start of battle, so he has to be in the first turn to be turn 5. And he also, I believe it does increase damage to superclass allies, so there's that. If you have like a Realm of Gods unit or Fuse Fighter unit on this team that's superclass, then yeah, his active or his domain would make it so they take more damage, which isn't ideal, but he is still good. Once you go Infinite Zamasu, of course, he supports orb changes and cannot be hurt, so that is why he is at number 9. Could be better, but could also be worse. Overall, pretty good release. Number 8, LR Androids. Now, you might be thinking, what? The LR Androids at 8? Listen, they are fantastic. They do a lot of damage. They have their, let's go to the easy A. They have a lot of damage. They raise defense on both 18 and 12 key. They have, where is it? Medium chance to evade. If HP is 66% or more, they also have a extra 20%, so 50% chance to evade. They also have supports, 2 key, 50% attack and defense, and within the same turn, plus an additional defense plus 35, within the same turn launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super for 3 turns after evading. So you can super 3 times, 50% chance to dodge. All allies for androids, 2 key, attack and defense plus 50%. Raise attack and defense, raise attack and defense. This is just an overall great designed unit, especially for EZ8. Then you get this guy out. He cooks, right? Greatly raises for both. He gets 8 key, 240%, and then an additional attack and defense was 160 when performing super attack. That's really good for LRs. Extremely high stats, 50% chance to crit, guaranteed crit when HP is 66% or less, or when there's a cell, which that doesn't really matter. So 66% or less. Launches an additional when there's an android, so it's like a enemy or ally. Does a lot of damage. Is pretty good. He does a lot of damage. He doesn't take much damage. And with that, that is why he is at 8. So let's go to 7. All right, why don't we? Here's that. Boom. Future Trunks from the Worldwide Celebration. So Future Trunks, this guy, I honestly wasn't sure where I wanted to put him, so I just put him kind of in the, or I guess around the middle of this group. He's better than people gave him credit for on release, including myself. It's just, all it was big damage, decent defense, slot 2. I mean, the problem again is AoEs. Once AoEs go away, if they go away, which they probably won't, he'll be a lot better. But he is still pretty good. And once you get into this guy, it's just, this guy is just insanely good. There's nothing I can complain about him at all. Insanely good. This one, he gets blown up turn 1, same as a lot of the other units that are below him. Other than, well, I guess that's not even true because it's just this guy. Some of these guys, they get blown up. It is what it is. A lot of them. So again, high defense or high damage, stacks defense here. Raises defense, attack and defense on that attack. He does a lot of attacks. He does a lot of damage. It's as simple as that. I mean, he does a lot of attacks, a lot of damage. Doesn't really have key issues from what I can remember. And then he does his standby for 4 turns. From the 5th turn, from start of turn, again, it has to be kind of annoying that they did that. I wish they just did start a battle as it should be. It shouldn't be start a turn, it should be start a battle, but going to standby. Now this is the big guy right here. 12 key, 200% attack and defense. It's a whole bunch after attacking. Launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super. Reduces damage received by 50% from 1 turn. Guards. Another additional that has a 70% chance as first attacker. Launches an additional super attack with 5 or more key spheres. And rainbow orb changes. So he is very good. Especially once he goes into standby. This unit is fantastic. He has a little bit of trouble the first turn. His defense isn't super high. Second turn he's much better. And then the 3rd turn he comes around, you get the standby. So once you get the standby, insane unit, amazing unit, great design. Animations are a little lackluster, but it does not matter in this sense when we are looking at how good a unit is just based off of their kit. So with that, we will go to number 6. And at number 6, we have this gentleman right here. These gentlemen. Blue Goku and Vegeta. Now, the reason I put Blue Goku and Vegeta above all the other ones that I have below them is for the first 4 turns, they are an underrated. I would give them underrated unit. Now, do they suck once the 4 turns run out and you can't transform? Yes, they do. Is this unit not that fun to use because of the first 4 turns and you can't transform? Yes, they are. But in terms of how good they are compared to the other LRs, their kit is very good. Again, until you get to the turn 5 where you can't transform, and at that point you die. So if you don't have that issue and you do transform on that turn, all good. You're actually doing great. Fantastic. So they get their guard. They guard all attacks for 4 turns if there's another Future Saga category ally on the team, which is never a problem because all the Future Saga category allies are. You can get one other good Future Saga category ally on the team because they came out with a whole bunch of them. So, not only that, their leader skill is fantastic. They have Battle Fate, Future Saga, Power Beyond. Those are all teams. We'll get, well, at least Battle Fate and Power Beyond will be getting constantly buffed. So you don't have to worry about that. Future Saga, you know, there's still some stuff they can put in there that they may or may not buff it. Who knows the next time they buff Future Saga, but the other two, Battle Fate, Power Beyond, those are always get buffed. And they also have 30% to Ramagaza Time Travelers. That's not the best 30%, but Power Beyond plus Realm of Gods is pretty safe for having the extra 30%. Time Travelers again that's kind of going with Future Saga mostly, so that is it. And they also of course have the 150 attack and defense. 150 HP attack and defense, right? For all superclass. So you can throw Bulma on their team, which she doesn't need the full 200%, although it is nice. She does not need it. She is very fantastic to just throw on this team, give support. So again, they have a 50% chance to dodge. They have their guard. They are a good slot 1 unit, very underrated. No, they do not do a lot of damage. They are super effective against Realm of Gods, which the hard fights are Realm of Gods right now except for Omega, so that's not an issue. Although it could be an issue in the future, it isn't right now. So that's why they're here at 6. And I didn't even talk about Vegeta yet. So I will say, I don't really have a lot of fun using this unit, mainly because worldwide I wanted it to be VB. It is not VB. This unit is mainly Goku and Vegeta. Like this right here is their main kit. You will see this most of the time. I wish that wasn't the case. I do wish it was like a Hirudegarn or Super Saiyan 3 active condition where it's turn 3 under 70% or turn 6 from start of battle. They have it. HP is 70% or less starting from turn 5 from start of turn. That's terrible. Why do that? I don't know. Or when there's another Future Saga ally attacking the same turn from the 7th turn from start of turn. The fights don't last that long. 7th turn? Come on. At that point, you would have 2 turns of them being dead in the water because their guard is gone. I don't understand. But once you get Vegeta out, this is a big boy right here. He does a good amount of damage. He has great defense, great slot 1 ability. He uses active. He has a guaranteed dodge. That active also crits. It doesn't crit. I just lied. But anyways, wait, I'm pretty sure it does crit. It might not crit. Super. Okay, I lied. So anyways, does a lot of damage, has a whole bunch of additionals, 50% chance to dodge, 50% damage reduction, slot 1. It's just, great unit. And also probably my favorite super attack animation in the game with the 18 key. Wish this was the unit that you see most of the time. If this was the unit that you see most of the time, he would be higher on this list, straight up. If they were only here, if these two were only here for like one turn, 2 turns max, then I would have this unit a little bit higher than they are. But since that's not the case, they are at number 6. Underrated unit. I don't care. I'm putting them at 6. If you want to argue with me, go ahead. Let me know in the comments. Give me a real argument. Don't just tell me I'm stupid. But anyways, next one, number 5. Number 5. Let's go do it. Now this is where stuff gets a little tricky because all these units are very good. You see the LR Super Saiyans that just came out. Now, I haven't done a video on them yet. I am getting them link level. They're link level 10 at this point. So next time I do like a gameplay video, I'll be using this unit. I did pull them at 2 dupes, so they're 2 dupes link level 10. I'm excited to use them. They're pretty fun. I have used them a little bit already. I really like the design. So, anyways, at number 5, the reason they are 5. Super Saiyans, 200%. No, this team isn't fantastic. It's decent enough right now, because if I go to it real quick, you look at the team, like, you have Gogeta, who could easy A soon. Birdcoo still good. Of course, these guys are good. Future Gohan, we all know he's really good. I have Trunks up in the top 10. Like, he's all good. The TURs are very lackluster for the most part. I mean, they're not that great. If you look down here, like, who are you using? Super Trunks? No, you're not using Super Trunks. Not really. Future Gohan probably is a good choice, but other than that, you have Godku. He's definitely one that you are. He's pretty much must run on the team. So, anyways, let's go back to the unit. So this unit is fantastic. I really like what they did here. They did not disappoint. This is actually did it way better than I thought they would. So they get their 3 turns of greatly raising attack and defense, which is very nice. And then they also greatly raise attack for 3 turns on super, on their normal super. So they activate their entrance. They have their damage reduction from 30%. When there's 2 other Super Saiyan movie heroes, not hard at all. Especially with Hirudegarn that just came out, or Dragon Fist, I mean. Now, they get their, their normal stuff when attacking. Plus 3 ki for int. They don't struggle for ki. They also randomly change. They orb change. And then they, if there's a Super Saiyan or movie heroes, they launch an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super for every 3 ki spheres. Up to 3 additionals. So if you get 9 ki, they have 3 additionals coming, each with a 50% chance to super. So you can essentially super 5 times on a normal turn. If you're lucky with the orbs and you're lucky with the 50% chances, you can super a lot of times. Now, remember, they're super effective against all types. So if you're, you get 9 ki orbs, super effective, the unit throws out a 19 mil, then he does 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. You're cooking. You're doing a lot of damage. And don't even get me started on the active. This active that you just throw out does guaranteed crit and does a ton of damage. I've seen it do like 30 mil. Okay, that's just on Dokkan Twitter. They juice this unit, but this does a lot of damage. It's definitely one of the hardest hitting one of the harder hitting actives. Definitely one of the hardest hitting active turns in the game for sure. I would say this is probably my top offensive unit. I mean, it's fair to call them an offensive unit because that's mostly what they do. They do have good enough defense, so that's why they're up here in 5. So can be activated when all allies are Super Saiyans, starting from the 3rd turn or just 6th turn. Not too bad, not too bad at all. So let's go to number 4. I have this unit at number 4, and I have them interchangeable with the Super Saiyans. I've seen people say the Super Saiyans could be the best unit in the game, and I'm like, I can kind of see it, I just wouldn't agree. So I just don't see them even being better than the GT duo, who is still really good. I see somehow I see people underrate the GT duo on Twitter. I don't know what's going on with Twitter. I mean, they just do their thing on Twitter. I don't even question it sometimes. But GT duo, we all know what this unit does at this point. They're almost a year old, and them to still be top 4 is great. It's just they just have a lot of utility, right? So again, we know what this unit does. I have them on another list, so I'll just go through it real quick. A lot of damage. Defense is good after they super attack. Turn 1, they can get blown up, same as a lot of the other units. Once you get their like 40% damage reduction, they are chilling defensively, even with AoEs. Yes, they still get hit a little hard, but you're not getting absolutely blown back into another universe. And then, of course, you do your standby. You get hit 4 times, or you're under 50% HP. You get this guy out, and it's a nuke. Again, especially if you do a lot of supers with this, get the nuke out. You get a free revive, a full heal, and they support 8 ki 80%, but usually that doesn't matter, especially with AoE meta. Until AoEs, unless there's going to be like a physical boss, AoE might do like 300k, but when it's not a physical boss, the AoE does a lot. They just get one shot essentially, and you don't really get take advantage of this, but it is what it is. You still get, again, you get the Spirit Bomb that does damage, you get the 100% HP recovery, and, great unit. So let's go to number 3. Here we go. Number 3, Future Gohan. Now this is a realm where you can really just I'd say you can just put any of these in any order and I would not complain. Future Gohan, crazy, insane unit. Again, he has the same issue. At least in terms of slot 1, you don't really want to run this guy in slot 1 on turn 1. He can get blown up. Now after turn 1, he's a little bit better in slot 1. He's definitely fine after he has his domain and he uses his active in slot 1. He has his 80% damage reduction. He doesn't do a ton of damage, but he does good enough damage to be up here in the top 3 for sure. Untouchable after supering. He just does not take damage after supering. If there's a meta with no AoEs, I'll probably put him higher. But right now, since there's AoEs, he can get hit a little bit. He doesn't get hit like too hard, but he can get hit a little bit. Again, he just doesn't do that much damage. That's why I have him at 3. And his domain does negate damage against, or it does more. It's more damage to extreme enemies. So you do more damage to the extreme if you're fighting extreme, which you are because Dokkan, Omatsu, Akatsuki, they hate putting super fights being difficult for some reason. I don't know. But that is why he's at 3. Active does a lot of damage. He has guaranteed crits on the active skill. Just a really fun unit, really cool. He's 1 arm, which is even better that they didn't make him 2 arm. Really like this design. That's why he's at number 3. So let's go to number 2. Can you guess who number 2 and number 1 are? Do I even need, I'll just put them both up there because I'm sure you already know who they are. Bulma and Big Pick. So Bulma is at number 2. I have Bulma at 2 because it's Bulma. She gives multiple turn support, guard, damage reduction. Her damage isn't crazy. She does like 7 mil with a 50% chance to crit. Can do it 3 times, usually 2 times. Guaranteed additional. Has great defense after she supers. Again, guard, damage reduction. And then she has her turn where she makes the whole rotation super effective. And also supports on that turn as well, and also changes all the key spheres to STR. So there's 27 STR key spheres, while also rainbow or changing normally when you're not in the active turn. And again, talked about her a few times already. She is very good. 3 key attacking defense plus 37% for 2 turns is crazy. You get that because she rainbow or changes. She's just fantastic unit. No complaints with Bulma. Let's go to number 1, which we already know. Piccolo. He is 1 year old at this point, and some. He is still the best unit in the game, in my opinion. Why? Because of his giant form. You run 2 of this guy, you have 2 turns where you're completely... I guess you're not completely invincible, but most of the units you're running on his team don't get hit by normals too hard, so you are almost invincible. You won't be getting hit by AoEs. You won't be getting hit by super attacks. They won't heal in the turn. He just gets rid of everything that the enemy can do in a turn, so you don't have to worry about it. Nothing to worry about. You pull this guy out, you go giant form, you're good that turn. You know you won't die. Can be slot 1, especially until he gets his guard. He also has the, once you get hit 7 or more times and drop below a certain HP, you get extra 30% damage reduction. So now he has I think it's 50% damage reduction, which you can put him in slot 1 at that point for sure. It's definitely useful. I mean, it doesn't activate that often, but when it does, it is a huge bonus. You get the heal. Is it a full heal? Yeah, it's a full heal. You get a full heal and you get the extra 30% damage reduction. Just fantastic. Easy giant form condition. We will be getting more superheroes regardless. I'm pretty sure Anniversary is going to be having superheroes in it. I put out a video earlier, my predictions. Gogeta, UI, Beast, all of them are superheroes. They are all on superheroes. I think it's going to be a Dragon Ball Super like celebration. That might not be the theme, but overall I think the characters are going to be Dragon Ball Super related. We are also getting the AGL UI and Int SSBE Vegeta EZAs, I would assume, the 6th ANA units. So there's that to look forward to as well, which also superheroes. So this team is going to get buffed all the time, especially with new content. Now Daima probably isn't going to be superheroes because it's just Dragon Ball Super and then the heroes of that. So We are looking. We do have the manga content. Whenever that gets animated, those will be superheroes. This point, this guy might be easy 8 at that point. So who knows? But he's my number one. That's my list. If you like the video, please drop a sub to the channel, leave a like on this, and if you have any arguments, let me know down below in the comments. I want to see how you feel about this list. What would you change? Where would you put some units? Would you take some units off? Would you put them somewhere else? Would you move these around? Let me know. I'm down for discussion. With that, I'm out.